All right, I'm going to reiterate what I was saying right there at the end because I don't know if you caught it. This is a left-tailed test, so the critical value marks off the left-hand bound of what you'll accept. So if your test statistic is lower than that, you're rejecting. So we are going to reject H naught because, right, the chi-square statistic is lower than the critical value. Right, 13.59 is a lower number than 13.85. Excuse me. All right, now we need to find the p-value because we always want that method as well. You never know which one they're going to ask us for. And I'm going to preemptively strike and make this green. And while I'm on the subject, I'm going to bold all this. All right, p-value. The p-value is a little bit tricky to find. So what we're going to do is 1 minus chi dist, right? And then the chi-square test statistic, it needs x, which is this 13.59, comma, the degrees of freedom, again, is this cell that we already found. I kind of like finding that cell ahead of time because we use it so often. All right, so that's 0.044, which is lower than 0.05, therefore we reject. We reject H naught because P equals 0.04445 is less than alpha, which was 0.05. Fabulous, wonderful, marvelous. All right, now before we move away from this, I wonder, I'm betting, let's go to DDXL, hypothesis tests, chi-square for the standard deviation, that one. Look at that. Won't work because we don't have data. So DDXL ain't going to work for this. What about StatCrunch? That's a good question. Let's go to Stat, Variance, one sample. We have a summary here. All right, now we're going to have to be a little tricky. This asks for the sample variance. All right, well, let's add that in here. If the standard deviation is 3.01, the variance is 3.01 squared, right? That's the variance. Okay, so 9.0601. I guess for the sake of argument, I mean, I could put that in here. Sample variance, which is S squared, equals that cell squared. We might need it for a later date. All right, 9.0601, and our sample size was 25. Let me go back to StatCrunch. Oops, it's over here in the Java thing. 9.0601, sample size was 25. Next, our null variance is assumed to be, null variance, careful. The null hypothesis standard deviation is 4, so the null variance is 16, right? 4 squared makes 16. Variance is the square of standard deviation. And this was a left-tailed test. I'm going to go less than, and then say calculate. All right, there we go. 13.59, 0.0466, just like we expected. But you got to be careful because StatCrunch likes variance, not standard deviation. So just remember that variance is standard deviation squared, and you should be okay. All right, that's the end of that problem. Next time I see you, it's going to be for a right-tailed test.